Hello, coin collectors out there. Welcome back to the Big D Coins channel. Hopefully, everyone is having a great day as always. In today's video, we are going to look at the 1930 Indian head nickels. We've got a 1930 right here. We've got a 1936 right here. And just for good measure, we'll throw in this 1937 as well. In today's video, we'll talk about the highest and the lowest mintage for this decade of Buffalo nickels. Now, the Buffalo nickels were made from 1913 up until 1938. So we have some high mintage and we have some low mintage, but most of the high mintage comes in the year 1930. So if you're coming across a Buffalo nickel, chances are it's going to be from the decade of 1930. Depending on how long it takes to talk about these, we'll also get some reference into these ones right here. These are the Liberty head nickels. We've got one from 1904 and we've got one from 1905. These were the nickel series that were present before the Buffalo nickels. They started way back in 1883, went all the way up until 1913 before they were replaced with these coins right here. Here's a little background on the Buffalo nickel series before we start talking about the different mintages, which will kind of dictate the prices for these coins here. So the design of the Buffalo nickel features a Native American on the obverse. So we're looking at the obverse side of all three of these coins right here. The placement on the date on the raised shoulder has actually caused it to wear and tear quite easily. Throw back to this coin that we're looking at before right here. So the date was placed on the raised shoulder right there, which caused it to wear quickly within circulation, which is evident on this coin right here. Luckily, these ones right here, we still see the date very prominently displayed. The reverse, let's flip it over and check out what's on the reverse side of the Buffalo nickel. The reverse features the American bison or buffalo, after which the series takes its common name. Initially, the denomination was on a raised area on the mound. So originally, the mound was like raised up right here, but guess what? That wore pretty quickly as well, so they decided to change that. But despite the awareness of the impacts on circulation on the raised inscription, no attempt was made to preserve the date. So the denomination, they changed that from being raised, which prevented these ones right here from wearing out, but they never changed the date from being raised on the obverse side of the coin. The Buffalo nickel was designed by James Earl Fraser. Now let's get into the mintages because I know that's what a lot of you people are interested in. The average mintage for the Buffalo nickel series was 18,953,000. The most common in the entire series is this one right here, 1936. So in 1936, there are actually 119 million of these that were made. The lowest mintage in the entire series is going to be 1927 at the San Francisco Mint. But the lowest mintage for the 1930s is going to be at the San Francisco Mint as well. That's going to be the 1931S. So the 1931 San Francisco Mint Buffalo nickel, and that at a G4 condition is going to be worth $15. At a mint state 63, that's going to be worth $100. Now let me give you a little description of what that grade of a G4 or G3-ish will look like. That's important when determining the value of your Buffalo nickel. So a G4, the summary of that description is the coin is heavily worn overall. The device's lettering and legends and dates are readable, but may have some faintness to them in a few areas. All major features are visible in at least the outline form, and the rim is mostly complete, but may be partially worn off in a few spots. So I actually think this coin right here would get a higher grade than a G4 because we can see the rims going around the outside right here. We see everything quite clearly. Something like this would be kind of less than a G4 because we've got the rim wearing off right here. So this would probably get that 4 designation. On the obverse, the fundamental details of the Indian's head, the feathers in the hair, so these are where the real detailed aspects of the coin are starting to appear. The date is clearly readable without any strenuous effort, so we can see the date right here without having to get a magnifying glass or a microscope. On a poorly struck example, the letters of Liberty may be merged onto the rim. So we see right here, These ones are not merged onto the rim. On this example of the kind of more worn out one that we were looking at, we can see that the letters there are worn out on the rim. So what I'm trying to emphasize here is that a coin in this condition, if it's dated 1931 from the San Francisco Mint, will be worth $5 compared to most of the other nickels in the G4 condition that are going to be from the 1930s. For 1930, it will be worth $1.25 in the G4 condition. 1931, as I mentioned, unless it's from the San Francisco Mint, it'll be worth $1.25. Some of them will be $1.50. Some of them will be $1. Now, the more valuable ones, once we get up into the mint state condition, that's where the real money can be made. The real money can also be made with error coins. The one that the Red Book calls out as far as the error coins for the 1930s, we have a 1935 double-dyed obverse, which is worth $45 at a G4 state. 1936 3.5 legged, which is worth $600. And we've got the 1937D 3-legged, which is worth $600 as well. And we have the 1938D over S. That's a repunched mint mark. That's going to be worth about $5.50. So that one's a little bit more common, significantly more common than the 3-leg 1937, the 3.5-legged 1936. All right, so those are the basic values of your 1930s Buffalo nickel. Let's talk quickly about the Liberty Head nickel, these two nickels that we see right here. And I've actually got this one, which is a Liberty Head nickel as well, but it's pretty much obliterated as far as the details of the actual coin goes. We can flip it over, and we see very faint kind of details of that V on the back right there. As far as the mintage of this series go, this will have much lower mintage than the Buffalo nickels that we were talking about earlier. There are 33 different regular issue strike coins that were part of the Liberty Head, also known as the V nickel series. Production took place at all three mints. The average mintage for a regular issue coin was 18,242,000. The lowest mintage for the for the Liberty Head nickel series is going to be 1912S Liberty nickel, which there are 238,000 of those that were made. So that is much, much, much more rare than the Buffalo nickel we were talking about. So the lowest mintage in the Liberty nickel is 238,000. The lowest mintage in the Buffalo nickel is 970,000. So the lowest mintage one in this series is 3 times more rare than the lowest mintage in the Buffalo nickel series. The highest mintage occurs with the 1911 Liberty nickel, in which there are 39 million of them that were made. There is also supposedly a very rare 1913 Liberty nickel that was illegally made. So 1913 was the year when they were supposed to be making the Buffalo nickels, and that some of these were snuck out that had the 1913 date on them. In case you haven't seen the reverse side, let me just share that with you as well. So on the reverse side, what we're looking at right here as far as the reverse, this includes the large Roman numeral V, which was originally the only indication of the value of the coin. However, they very shortly added the cents right here. So when this first came out in the year 1883, the first ones came out without the word cents on them. So there were 5 million of them that came out with just the V on them and no cents in the year 1883. And then there were 16 million that came out with that V on them and then had cents on them in 1883. So 1883 is a split year between the V with and without cents. The one without cents is going to be worth significantly more value. That was known as partway through the year, as I mentioned earlier. On the obverse side of this coin right here, it was designed by Charles E. Barber. The design features the head of Liberty on the obverse. She's wearing, I'll flip this one over so we can see a little bit more detail, but it's still pretty worn out. She wears a crown and has wheat and cotton woven into her hair with the 13 stars going around. So we see the 13 stars, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 stars going around. And unfortunately, my coin is not in a good enough condition to be able to see that wheat and cotton woven into her hair. Now, as far as the prices of these ones go, they're going to be worth a lot more money. I'll share with you very quickly the price of the 1905 and 1904 as I flip through them. So at a G4 condition, the 1904 is going to be worth $2. The 1905 is going to be worth $2 as well. When you get up into the mint state condition, at a mint state 63, that will be worth $135 for both 1904 and 1905. And the mintages on those two, 21 million for the 1904, 29 million for the 1905. So very cool coins here. All right, everyone, hopefully you enjoyed this video. We got a nice look at the 1930s Buffalo nickels to start the video. We looked at the 1930, 1936, and then the 1937. Now, just to recap, the more valuable year that you want to look for the 1930s Buffalo nickel is going to be the 1931S, because even in the G4 condition, that will be worth $15, but the mintages on that are just 1.2 million. All right, everyone, thanks for watching. Enjoy, and best of luck coin collecting out there. Take care.